Good day, good morning, my dear students. If you become hydrogen, you will become more active. Okay, so let us get up from the bed. Let us ready for the today's session. In our previous class, we studied on the preparation properties uses of hydrogen. The second important topic of the hydrogen is hydrides. Hydride is a binary compound. What is binary? Compound of two. Compound of two what? Compound of two elements. So if it is a compound of hydrogen, means out of two elements, one is hydrogen compulsory. So other one should be either it is a metal or a non-metal or any element. Okay. So hydride means it is a binary compound of hydrogen with any element. Okay. So today we discuss on hydrides. So once again, I welcome for today's session on hydrides. Okay, right. When dihydrogen combines with other elements to form various compounds, that compounds are called hydrides. Okay, simple definition for hydrides or simple meaning for what are hydrides. Now, there are many elements, nearly 90 plus, except hydrogen. That means hydrides are also many. So, before we go into the study of hydrides in general, not in particular, so let us classify hydrides because hydrides are more in number. When the number is more, the classification makes our study easy. So let us classify hydrides into some groups depend upon what category or on what ground. Okay, right. So hydrides are mainly classified into three groups: ionic hydrides, covalent hydrides, and non-stoichiometric hydrides. On what ground? On the basis of the nature of element. Ionic hydride means these are formed by the first and the second group, extreme left, S block. So ionic hydrides are also called as what? S block hydrides. Okay, right. Now covalent hydrides. These hydrides are formed by the P block elements, starting from 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, not 18th. 18th is chemically least reactive group. Therefore, 13th to 17th, if they react with hydrogen, they are called covalent hydrides. And non-stoichiometric hydrides. Already we learned ionic hydride means they are S block, they are P block. Now non-stoichiometric hydrides means they belongs to D and F block. If D and F block reacts with hydrogen, they are called non-stoichiometric hydrides. Why they are called as non-stoichiometric hydrides? We'll discuss when that small chapter starts. Okay, so hydrides are classified on the basis of a block. Ionic hydrides S block, covalent hydrides P block, non-stoichiometric hydrides D and F. Now, covalent hydrides are further classified into three categories, three groups: electron deficient, electron precise, and electron rich. The name indicates they are deficient, shortage of electrons. Okay, so shortage of electrons normally we expect from group 13th, boron and the aluminum. Okay, whereas if you go for the electron precise, exactly they are formed by the group 14th, because carbon is 4, silicon number of electrons are 4, so they accept 4 from someone, so they go for exact octet. So here electron deficient, electron precise, electron rich are explained on the octet rule. Less than 8 deficient, exactly 8 precise, more than 8 electron rich. So these are classified on the basis of what? How many electrons they take and they share and they donate to go for the stability to what? Attain the octet rule. Okay, so on that ground they are classified into three categories, and the two he has mentioned which group will go for what category. So electron deficient by group 13, electron precise by group 14, and electron rich. So after the 14th, they're all electron rich. So 15, 16, 17, these three groups will go for the what? electron rich hydrides. Okay, right. So for example, B2S6 boron hydride belongs to electron deficient, and methane belongs to electron precise, and ammonia, water, HF belongs to electron rich hydrides. Okay, right. In short about these hydrides. First, ionic hydrides from the S block. Okay, ionic hydrides are formed when hydrogen combines with metals from first and the second group. Okay, examples are lithium hydride, calcium hydride, sodium hydride, many are there. Okay, so and contain hydride ion. So this is H minus. This LiH is there, no? So Li is 1 plus, H is 1 minus, Ca is 2 plus, H is 1 minus. So all these ionic hydrides contains H minus as ion. Okay, hydride ion. Hydride ions are strong, make it a strong reducing agent because of the weak plus one charge and the strong electron repulsion. Okay, so hydride is H1 minus. Okay, small H1 minus ion with two electrons, they go for the electron repulsion, and plus one is also very weak, unstable to remain. That's why, so they want to give back electron and they want to become normal H. That's why they are easily electron donor. For this reason, H minus 1 is a strong reducing agent. There is a violent reaction between hydrides of this category and water because they are highly reactive. They want to give the electron. They are highly reactive reducing agent. So immediately they react and converts into respective hydroxide, and hydrogen is given out. I told you H minus wants to become hydrogen. So that is given out. So hydrogen is given out when the metallic what this ionic hydrides reacts with water. That's why I told in the beginning before the this chapter in the hydrogen only. Uh, Hydrides are called as the powerhouse of hydrogen or the bank of hydrogen. Whenever you want hydrogen, you decompose or you react with water so that hydrogen comes out, and that is used for industrial purposes. Now, ionic hydride. Okay, about property as given. The ionic hydrides are crystalline, non-volatile, and non-conducting in solid state. However, their melts between in the liquid state conduct electricity, and on electrolysis liberate hydrogen. Again, they are acts like a bank of hydrogen at anode, which confirms the existence of hydride ion in their structure. Okay, right. This is a one example with water. Previously, we studied about the Li. Now, this is for the sodium hydride. Now, there are two hydrides from the S block. They are called as the special hydrides. Okay, one is lithium aluminum hydride LiAlH4, and the other one is lithium boron hydride. Okay, LiBH4. These two are very special hydrides of the. They form normal hydrides like LiH and NiNeH. Apart from forming the normal hydrides, they go for the special hydrides: lithium aluminum hydride, lithium boron hydride, sodium aluminum hydride, sodium boron hydride. So they are called special. Why special? Because they are the best reducing agents. So they will play a very important role in the preparation of some organic chemicals. Therefore, they are used as reducing agents in organic chemistry. So it is not there for your syllabus. I have given some extra notes for you to refer. So in the free time you go. So powerful reducing agent available as either a powder or as a pellet, bigger size crystals, used as a suspension in ether or in THF, tetrahydrofuran. So as a solvent, you can use it in the form of water suspension. Reacts violently with water, alcohol. Already we have seen, and reduces all these groups. That's why it is used as reducing agent, and it reduces nitrile, amide, aryl. Many groups it will reduce. Okay, it also reduces the acetylene, reduces the CX bond C. So best reducing agent I told you. So all these mechanisms we learn in the higher class. So like lithium aluminum hydride, lithium boron hydride is also one of the best reducing agents in organic chemistry. Excuse me. Now covalent hydrides, also known as molecular hydrides. These are formed by the group 14th member. Okay, from the p block elements. S block ionic, now p block covalent. Dihydrogen forms molecular compounds with most of the p block elements. Okay, so examples are hydride of carbon, methane, hydride of nitrogen, ammonia, hydride of oxygen, water, hydride of fluorine, HF. All these are p block hydrides. Okay, right. Hydrogen compounds of non-metals have also been considered as hydride. Not only these, there are some other non-metals, for example, phosphorus with hydrogen pH3, that also is taken as what? These type of covalent hydrides. Okay. Being covalent, they are volatile. Most of the covalent compounds are normally, in general, volatile. Molecular hydrides are further classified according to the relative number of electrons and bonds in their Lewis structure into electron deficient, electron precise, electron rich, that we have seen in the chart. Now, electron deficient hydrides do not have adequate number of electrons. That's why the name indicates deficient, shortage to form normal covalent bonds. Thus, to make up their deficiency, they are generally exist as polymeric species because they are electron deficient. They want electron. So, if nobody is there to give electron, among themselves they undergo reaction and they exist as a polymers. Okay, right. Example is B2S6 or aluminum hydride. They accept electron or they themselves react, they go for the polymeric structure. The electron deficient hydrides act as electron acceptor. Electron acceptor are also called as what? Lewis acids, according to the Lewis theory we learn in the chemical equilibrium chapter. So electron acceptors are Lewis acids. Okay, proton donors are acids according to the Lowry and the Bronsted concept, whereas according to Lewis theories, Lewis acids are electron acceptor because they are electron deficient. They accept electron. Therefore, uh, p block or molecular or the covalent hydrides are also called as Lewis acids. One example is here. So this is called trimethylamine. It is having electron here. If you see the structure, and this electron is given to the boron hydride and becomes the complex or the adduct. So this arrow mark indicates both electron given by the nitrogen. Okay. So electron donor, electron acceptor. This is the product, adduct. Addition product is called as what? Adduct. Now electron precise hydride from the p block from group 14th carbon family. Carbon family forms such types of hydrides. Compound have tetrahedral geometry. Best example is hydride of carbon, methane. These hydrides have the required number of electrons. That's why they are called as precise to write their conventional Lewis structure. So they are neither Lewis acid nor Lewis bases. They are normal. Now electron rich hydrides. After the 14th, 15, 16, 17, they go for electron rich hydride. Okay, right. So these hydrides have excess number of electrons. Nitrogen family, oxygen family, and fluorine family forms these types of hydrides. Okay, so these compounds behaves like Lewis bases because they are electron donor. Electron acceptor, Lewis acids. Electron donor, Lewis bases. Presence of lone pair of electrons on highly electronegative elements like NOF results in hydrogen bonding. That means in their structures, in their hydrides, electron pair is available. They are electron rich. So those electron pair are made use for the hydrogen bonding. Okay, right. Now metallic hydrides. These are formed by the D block or the F block. They are also called as non-stoichiometric hydrides. Why? Because see here definition here. These are formed by many D block elements and the F block elements. However, manganese, iron, and the cobalt family do not form hydrides. Only seventh group forms these hydrides like chromium hydride. These hydrides conduct heat and electricity. These are non-stoichiometric and deficient in hydrogen. So, how much space available in the interstices in the structure of these D block and the F block? According to the availability of the space, hydrogen is taken. Okay, so here they don't go for any rule. How much gap is there, that much is absorbed, that much is occluded, that much is taken, and it is formed. So here no stoichiometric formula is applied. You please here hydride is between 1.8 to 2, but in the case of Na sodium hydride, Na is plus 1, hydride is minus 1. Okay, here hydride is minus 1, okay, but titanium is how much? It is between 1.8 to 2. That means how much space available in the structure of titanium, that much is taken. That's why they are called as the non-stoichiometric hydride. In the same way, lanthanum hydride is 2.87, not a whole number. Okay, that's why they are called as, once again I'm repeating, non-stoichiometric hydride, depend upon the space available in the structure. Now, little extra information about these hydrides. The maximum amount of hydrogen in the hydride phase is given by the number of interstitial sites in the IMC. This is called intermetallic what uh, structure. So in the intermetallic phase, how much of space is available on that ground, or you can say intermetallic carbides, intermetallic structure. So how much space available, accordingly it is made. Okay. As a general rule, okay, it can be stated that all elements with an electronegativity in the range of 1.35 to 1.82 do not form stable hydrides. Okay, because their electronegativity sometimes make a problem with the hydrogen. Therefore, they don't go for the hydride. One reason, and maybe place is not available. Exactly, packing is there in the structure, so hydrogen entry is not allowed. So they don't go for hydride, and this is given by the Menyama model we learned in the higher class. The more stable an intermetallic compound, okay, this is IMC, intermetallic compound. Okay, so the more stable intermetallic compound is, the less stable the corresponding hydride is. That means intermetallic compound is more stable than their corresponding hydride. So when the corresponding hydride is not stable, then they will not form. Okay. So because of the phase transition, metal hydrides can absorb large amounts of hydrogen at a constant pressure. One of the most interesting features of metallic hydrides is the extremely high volumetric density of hydrogen atoms present in the host lattice. That means in the available space, maximum amount of hydrogen gas is absorbed or occluded. Then they form best hydrogen source. Whenever they want hydrogen, as usual, they decompose and get the hydrogen. Okay, right. Now, please see this modern periodic table. This is water, ionic hydride. This is covalent hydride, and from these two, water, non-interest, water, non-stoichiometric hydride or the metallic hydride, and this is the hydride gap, because they don't form hydride because of the not availability of the interstices area plus the electronegativity. All those problems are there. So this is called hydride gap. So group 7, group 8, group 9 will not go for the hydride formation. Okay, sometimes for 1 mark you will ask what is hydride gap. It is the group 7, group 8, group 9 of D block. They don't prefer to go for the hydride formation due to the non-availability of the space in their structure and difference of electronegativity close to the hydrogen. So, and these intermetallic what compounds are more stable than their corresponding hydride. So because of these three reasons, they don't go for hydride formation. Therefore, on the modern periodic table, this group is called as the gap for the hydride formation. Therefore, it is called what? Hydride gap. Okay, right. So with this, we conclude our speech or discussion on hydride. So in the next class, we go for some more discussion. Okay, right.